Hey YouTube, today I want to talk about backup, security, and storage. How are you protecting yourself from the worst case scenario should all of your work be stolen, your house be damaged, your computer burned to the ground? What would happen if you woke up tomorrow and everything you've ever worked on or ever produced out of your camera was gone? How would you feel? How much are you willing to spend to protect yourself from that scenario? And that's what I want to talk about today is what are some different options, what are some different prices, and how much can you store, and what are some pros and cons around that? Because I've done a lot of thinking in the last year or two to try and see what solutions are best for me, and I've recently changed how I'm doing that, and I want to share that with you today. So I want to share the top 10 options that I think are out there, eventually leading up to number 1, which is what I'm going with right now. But I'll save that for last. So let's start off with Amazon Photos. It sounds like a great idea. You're paying about $80 for unlimited photo storage. And this would be fine if you were just shooting JPEGs out of your cell phone and just wanted to store it for the rest of your life. But the problem is all it does is photos. What I'm talking about today is complete backup storage. All of your Lightroom catalogs, all of your design files, all of your client invoices, all of your family movies, everything you've ever needed or produced related to your camera needs to get backed up and protected, and Amazon Photos is just not relevant to this discussion, so that's why it's number 10. It's the bottom of the barrel option. Although it does come with some really nice perks like free shipping and the Amazon Video service, which has some great movies and TV, but that's for another discussion. Next on the list at number 9 is an external hard drive. Let's say we're dealing with about 8 terabytes of data. For about $250, you could pick up a really fancy, cool-looking drive. They put a lot of effort into marketing these things to get something that's portable, lightweight, and in high volume too. And while this sounds like a really great idea, it's also the absolute most prone to damage and failure. I highly recommend staying far away from these things. I know they're tempting to pick up as an easy, quick solution, but I promise you, every single story I've ever heard about work and data loss has almost always come from an external hard drive failing. If you think about it, you've got this spinning hard disk that you're moving around, it's portable, putting it in your backpack, throwing it on the floor, it drops all the time. There's such a high degree of opportunities for this thing to fail and break. It's not worth putting your life's work on this tiny little drive and having it risk failure. All of my external hard drives I've ever owned have all failed, and I will never buy another one again. Number 8 is the next safest way and slightly cheaper. For about $200, you can get an internal hard drive to put into your machine, assuming you have a PC or a Mac that you can do that. You can get about 8 terabytes for $200. And at least now you're in the machine and it's not portable and it's not moving around, slightly less risk to danger. But the problem now is all of your eggs are in one basket. All of your data and all of your work and backup is in one machine. So if anything happens to that machine, if the power supply dies, if the motherboard dies, you now have no access to all of your work again, and you don't get any of the nice cloud storage features that are out there today. So you're really limiting your technological options out there. Although I will say you will have very fast access to all of your backed up work. But I can't recommend this as a security option because all it would take is for somebody to come in and steal your computer or the house to catch fire, and all of your work is gone. So it's not the best use of your money and your time if you're kind of getting serious about photography and backing up your work. The next thing I was looking at was a NAS drive. These things have really cool names, they're marketed really well, they are expensive. You're looking at least $1,000 to $2,000 for like the bare minimum, about 16 terabytes of having this feature. A NAS is sort of like a really fancy external hard drive you get. It's like having your own cloud service. You've got this machine in your house. It's like another computer with a bunch of drives in it. It's got redundancy, so if files fail or deleted, you're protected. But it suffers from the exact same problem. It's under the same roof again. If anything happens to your house or your home, it's gone. It's all gone. So this is just not enough protection for what we're looking for. There's also a much higher learning curve as you need to know a lot more about networks and a little bit of IT skills to set these things up. They're not just plug and play from a USB device. As we hit number 6, all of the rest of the opportunities here are cloud storage solutions. And I think this is where everybody needs to be. It's where things are going, and it's the safest off-site way to protect your work. So let's find the best one. Number 6 is Amazon Drive. And for $1,000, you can get 8 terabytes of data. And when I try to think of any perks, there really are none. There's almost no added value to this service other than just getting 8 terabytes of data. And that's an incredible amount of money, as we're going to see as we continue on looking at other services. So I just can't recommend this one at all. It's a very low amount of information to store for a very high price for no extra value. I have a feeling their services used to be really good. Maybe they offered unlimited in the past and it was abused, so they really scaled it back and they just don't want people using this anymore. So you should stay away from it too. Number 5 is Box.com, and we're still in the $1,000 range, but here we get unlimited data. So you can see how much better that is for the price compared to Amazon. And this has some really great features. This is used by a lot of large businesses with a lot of people involved who all need to share the same space. You get a lot of administration user access control. There's a lot of productivity and collaboration apps, and it sounds really good. And I just recently tested this again to make sure that this was or wasn't the solution for me in the future. And I confirmed that it is not, for one very important reason. It is the absolute slowest of all of the options out there. And I think the reason is that their network and their data center is somewhere else in the world. It is not in North America or in Canada, or at least the one that they have me on. And I just can't recommend this. You have all of these great collaboration productivity apps, but you can't actually collaborate with anybody because it's so slow. So I think Box.com was designed for a large amount of users who have a small amount of data, as opposed to one user who has a large amount of crazy big data. So you can see why this is just not the solution here for photographers like you and I. Number 4 is Google Drive. For about $140, you get 2 terabytes of data. And I love Google. My primary email is a Google account. I love having all of the virtual apps like Excel and Word. I love the email, I love the collaboration and the sharing. It's very fast. The major problem here is that it's just 2 terabytes. That is the largest that they offer for $140. It's really pathetic for a large reputable company like Google to offer so little. And I think it's the same thing as that happened to Amazon, is that they used to have a really great all-encompassing package of unlimited, and it was heavily abused. So now they're trying to push people away with this very low data, high price. They don't want people to use it, so you shouldn't either. Unless, of course, you feel you will never exceed 2 terabytes of data. But I'm telling you, I can fill that up in about 2 years. So this is not a solution for anybody seriously getting into photography and video and creative work who need to protect their data. Number 3 is one of my favorites, and it is Dropbox.com. You can get unlimited storage for about $1,000 Canadian. And this is ultra fast. This is why I recommend this over Box.com. Transferring your work to and from this cloud storage service will be extremely fast. You'll be very pleased with how quickly you can share work and back stuff up. The one major issue is that it's $1,000. That is a lot of money for an enthusiast photographer. You could buy an L series Pro lens every year for that amount of money. Or over 20 years, you could buy multiple high-end camera bodies. And I want to show you guys in the next 2 is that you don't have to spend $1,000 a year to protect your data. You don't need to spend that much. So hang in here as I show you the next 2 options. But it is really good if you just want to throw a bunch of money at this problem, but it's not the way to go. So number 2 is my previous solution, which was Microsoft OneDrive. For about just $100 a year, you can get 6 terabytes of data. So you can see as we looked at all of the storage solutions, how low this price is for how much data you get. You also get Excel and Word and Outlook and OneNote and all of these productivity apps in a great, well-known environment. Microsoft is very popular in the business world. OneDrive is a very good solution, equivalent to the speed of Dropbox. I find it a little bit clunkier to use with the user interface, and it's just not as fun. But it was the cost-efficient solution. But it has one huge drawback, is that you don't get access to all 6 terabytes of data with one user. It's spread across 6 users, so you need 6 different accounts. And I used to juggle between 2 or 3 accounts, which account had which piece of data, and it just got really tired and old, and I I got sick of doing it, and I wanted something better, which is why we came to this video and these solutions. Is that it's fine if you're just building up and starting out and you need to keep costs low. It is the best option for that, especially if you need productivity and sharing and things like that. I think it's the way to go. But as soon as you exceed 1 to 2 terabytes, it no longer becomes the best solution. Which brings us to number one. Number one is BackBlaze. For a very low price of about $50 to $60 a year, you get unlimited data storage of any type, not just photos. Your entire hard drive can be backed up on the cloud, 100% protected from all damage and destruction and theft. So you can sleep peacefully at night for a very low cost, knowing that everything is taken care of. And it's extremely easy to use too. You just click one button practically, it starts to sync everything on your hard drive and put it on the cloud without interrupting and disrupting the power of your computer and the speed of your network. It's very efficient at what it does. And there's really nothing out there that competes with it at that price and unlimited data. So I highly recommend this starting out. If you don't need a lot of productivity apps like sharing and being able to pull individual files here and there, this is not a collaboration tool. This is a long-term safety and security solution for all of your data. So as an enthusiast, this is the best option as we push out tons of data and we need a safe, secure place. If for some reason something does happen to your home and your computer, all you do is you call these guys up and you say, I need all my work on a hard drive, and they mail it to you. And I think that is an incredible service that they offer. I've never had to use it and I hope I never do, but I'm really glad that it's there. So that's my answer for you guys. Try BackBlaze. All of my work is secure on it right now, and I'm really happy just knowing that is solved and figured out. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. If you enjoyed this and learned something, please hit like and subscribe. Visit demonandphotography.com or my Instagram for even more info. Bye for now.